Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on narcissism and narcissistic relationships and healing from these relationships. So let's talk about realistic expectations. And specifically, let's talk about how their unrealistic expectations are why you might need realistic ones. So expectations are everything when it comes to surviving and healing in a narcissistic relationship. The place to start is to remember that narcissistic people are perfectionistic. They expect people to be 100% attuned to them all the time, to anticipate their needs, to never let them down, to be what they need when they need, to give them space when they want, to be around when they want, and that everything just runs perfectly in their lives without a glitch. It would be a great thing to have, but most of us know that that's not likely to happen. But when those things don't happen, they will rage, or they will give you the silent treatment, or they will blame you for their problems. So before we get into this sort of issue of their expectations and your expectations, I just also want to take a quick minute to remind you that I have a brand new book coming out on February 20th. It's Not You. You can pre-order it now. I'm asking all of my subscribers on YouTube, please consider checking it out. It takes a lot of what I talk about in this channel, puts it into a book, so it's a place to have all the information at one handy place. And if you pre-order the book and you verify your purchase, you'll get access to a bunch more other stuff than the book. You'll get access to a 5-hour, 6-hour course on gaslighting, a series of expert interviews, a Facebook group dedicated to the book launch and the people going through this, and you'll also get early access to chapter 2. Links to order and to verify your purchase, they're all in the video description. So you can get all that. It's a book on healing. For once, it's about your experience and not just one more book explaining the narcissistic person. It also helps get the word out to the world at large that narcissistic abuse is real. So let's go back to this idea of expectations and even this idea of attunement, right? So at these times, when you're attuned to them, they of course are never attuned to your needs. They don't even care about them, let alone anticipate them. They let you down constantly. They're intrusive, they withhold. You never know which it's going to be with them, and they don't care if things go wrong for you. All narcissistic people live in a world of unrealistic expectations. It's the nature of the personality style, and the rest of us are just trying to keep up. And it's not just their exacting expectations that a house be perfectly clean and orderly, or that their environments be just so, although that can be part of it. It's also that they expect people to be equally within their control. Listen, if they want to pay lots of money and hire lots of people to keep their underwear drawer alphabetized, or their perfect refrigerator, or their scary Bond villain office perfectly ordered, okay, then they can do that. But they also expect that people will exist and support their kind of sort of troubling precision as well. I remember in one narcissistic encounter that sticks out to me, I knew someone had had a big day, right? This is a person who often said that nobody ever supported them. Nobody ever cared for them. So I actually canceled some meetings and I drove out of my way and I made the person lunch. I knew that they'd had a big, complicated, difficult day, and I waited for them. And when they saw me there with the meal I had prepared for them, they lost it. They screamed at me, "How dare you? I had a terrible day. How dare you just show up here and expect me to eat this food?" My mistake was that I tried to anticipate their needs, and I anticipated them wrong. Had I had a perfect narcissistic detector for this person, then I could have read their mind and known that they wanted space. But here's the catch-22. If I had not cleared out my afternoon and been available, there's a decent chance that that person would have come at me for not being there for them. Always the two mantras to remember in a narcissistic relationship. You can't win, and it's not you. But because of these unrealistic expectations, narcissistic people feel chronically let down by other people. And depending on the type of narcissism and other factors related to their emotional state, That chronic sense of being let down either means that the narcissistic person will react aggressively, yelling, screaming, raging, or they'll react passive aggressively, silent treatment, withholding, withdrawing, sullenness. They will often put their rage on the people who have the least power around them. Children, lower wage employees that are less empowered, family members that they know are going to put up with their behavior. And so the narcissistic person often doesn't face consequences for this. This is also part of the entire narcissistic multiplex of them being preoccupied with their own pain, their own difficulties, with little regard for what is happening to other people, and feeling entitled to other people being in their service. At an almost delusional level, the narcissistic person does feel and does believe that their needs are more important than those of other people. So that's where the realistic expectations come in. Realistic expectations are radical acceptance in practice. We can't leave all of these relationships, or we don't see them enough for there to be a need for some kind of permanent split. But when we see them, we have to be equipped with the realistic expectations. Realistic expectations that our needs will never be heard or valued, and in fact our needs may actually be devalued or dismissed, that the relationship will be chronically unfair, that they actually do expect us to read their minds, and if we don't, they will get angry. They care about their own pain, they expect you to care about their pain, and they will never care about yours. They aren't listening to you no matter whether you speak it, text it, email it, write it on paper, skywrite it, or have someone else say it to them. This will always be a one-sided relationship. So part of the radical acceptance, realistic expectations trajectory is to ask yourself why you are interacting with them. Your why may be because you have to get something done in the workplace, because you really like other members of the family and that they're part of a system that can't be removed. It could be because you have to confirm who is picking up your child at the soccer game, or because it is parent-teacher night at school, or because you live under the same roof until the kids turn 18. The realistic expectations are essential if you're staying in one of these relationships. They also matter should you end the relationship, because again, there will be little expressed awareness by a narcissistic person of how their behavior may have contributed to you stepping back or stepping away, but you will hear about how it is a problem for them that you did this. If you had a narcissistic parent, these unrealistic expectations that they hold, the reversal of you as a child being expected to anticipate your parents' needs and taking hell for it if you didn't, for enduring critical and abusive behavior because you made a need known. It creates long-term impacts, such as having difficulty expressing your needs, your feelings in adult relationships, trusting yourself, of doubting yourself, and even the formation of your identity gets impacted. You get the painful lesson that your needs are shameful, and love means that you have to be a mind reader and a capitulator. That is not a good precedent. So their unrealistic expectations are the reason for your realistic expectations. Otherwise, you can easily spend a lifetime being pulled into their perfectionistic expectations. We already have enough trouble with perfectionism in our filtered, artificial lives on social media, unrealistic expectations from society world. So when you throw onto that the idea that the narcissistic relationship leaves you believing that if you are perfect, everything will be okay, and that your lack of being perfect is why the relationship is a mess. Again, remember, it's not you. And it's not even about being perfect. It's about being able to anticipate their needs perfectly. Who can do that? That really just means that they want you to be some sort of AI programmed robot that was created just for them and has no needs of your own. And yet, people try to be this and do this for narcissistic parents, for partners, for bosses. It's not possible. Perfect is not just the enemy of good, it's the enemy of mental health. I remember once believing and really believing that I could be that person who is in great shape and looks pretty and have a perfectly clean house and know how to cook and always respond to my kids in exactly the right way and never get angry and always have nice things to say and always be cheerful and get along with everyone and succeed at work and have enough money. I thought if all that happened, if I could do that, if I finally could get it right, then my relationships would work and everyone would like me. And I wasn't able to, so I just believed I wasn't trying hard enough. I sacrificed my physical and mental health on that altar, and it still didn't work. I watch thousands of people do this every day, and it doesn't work. We are not designed to be pacifiers and punching bags and mind readers. The primary challenge in narcissistic relationships is that you are not a person to them. You are supply. And if you are supply, and your supply isn't what they want, well, even if you get it 90% of it right, they will focus on the 10% that wasn't exactly what they wanted. Realistic expectations are the only antidote to their unrealistic ones. Good luck and thanks.